The EFF has taken note of the right domestically and internationally. The onslaught on the people of Venezuela for the sole and admitted purpose of taking over Venezuela's oil refineries. The manipulation of the electoral processes in Palestinians has resulted in the EFF correctly characterizing Donald Trump as a reincarnation of Adolf Hitler. We recently condemned in the strongest terms the disgraceful and politically motivated decision by FIFA to award Donald Trump a so-called FIFA Peace Prize, an act which represents a direct violation of FIFA's own regulations and an endorsement of his political interests. Further confirms the assessment that Donald Trump is the new Hitler that the world is faced with, and failure to recognize this reality. Solidarity against Donald Trump and his reckless policies, including trade, tariff, and foreign policy, which is underpinned by a desire for war and sustaining of an economic built on military strength and imperialism rather than economic cooperation, unity and resistance to all forms of neocolonialism and imperialism. The continent, the diaspora, and the world should cease from presenting themselves as subjects at the Oval Office in order to pledge loyalty to fascists. The first meeting, and contrary to the over-diplomatic stance of the South African government, the EFF calls for a boycott of the G20 in Miami, Florida, if South Africa is not allowed as a founding member as a result of the declaration by Donald Trump. The world has defeated fascism through EFF wishes the people of South Africa a blessed and happy festive season, which must be characterized by love for those who are less fortunate. During this festive season, let us keep in mind and in prayers those who continue as communities to gangsterism in the Cape Flats and to violence which has overcome our communities, leading to rampant murder, rape, and gender-based violence. The EFF calls on the people of South Africa to celebrate this festive season responsibly and avoiding drinking and driving and conflicts inspired by alcohol abuse. And that war will begin as soon as the year begins with Umtana Eskoleni campaign and the Sofunda Ngenkani campaign. Education is the future of our nation, our continent, and the EFF must be at the forefront of ensuring that no child is denied access to education because they cannot afford. We fully embrace the responsibility of our generation. Therefore, as we stare into the promise of a new year, we refuse to blink until we step closer to achieving the feat of economic freedom in our lifetime. Let us be safe as the task in 2026 to remove the corrupt and incompetent government in our municipalities is an urgent one. It demands that our fighters dare not activities for the 2025, and this press statement is legislature in KwaZulu-Natal. They must support the motion of no confidence against the provincial coalition. The support for the motion of no confidence in KwaZulu-Natal is not a support for, like it or not, the MKP got majority vote in KZN, and whether there is capacity in the MKP or A must never threaten us with protest as if we have no capacity to... Look, the footage that is being played at the Oval Offices be used to persuade us to retreat from our stance, because there is nothing that we are saying which will strengthen the case for... It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you do. The man has taken a decision to go against South Africa, not for what the EFF says, for the justice. It's what has offended the USA. The relationship of South Africa with China, with Russia, with Brazil and India, our participation in BRICS is what has offended the USA. So it doesn't matter whether the EFF video is played or not. That is actually trying to find a reason because you have no other reason to attack South Africa and isolate it for it and the situation between South Africa and Adolf Hitler of a modern day called Donald Trump. So it doesn't matter how many times you go to the Oval Office and they try and explain themselves, and it didn't work. The biggest clown of all of them is Kumbuzo Nchabeni, who came to me at the funeral of Didi Mabuza. And Trump has assured her that he's going to attend the G20. Even Elon Musk, who's assured her that Trump is going to attend the G20. I'm talking here a minister of state security who has got no capacity to actually detect that there is no such a thing that is going to happen at the G20. So really, South Africa must fishation, grow our economy while we are still trying to find other international trading partners. This is not going to end with Donald Trump as regime. Whoever Israel controls the USA, whoever is going to come after Trump, he is going to be told that South Africa is hostile to Israel and therefore America has got no business with South Africa. So for as long as we're still in a serious crisis for a very long time, and we need to prepare ourselves for this battle which is ahead and which needs to be confronted with determination. Arrest for taking people to Russia. I saw people opening cases against her. And I'm very conflicted because Dudu, anyway, she's my friend. So maybe SD should have responded to that one. So I just saw people line up going to a police station to open a case. And then, so as far as I'm concerned, SG, unless I'm wrong and I can be corrected, there are no charges against Dudu Zile for taking people to Russia. So let's not be ahead of ourselves. Let's allow the process to take its own course. And if she's charged, and if she's engaged in illegalities, let's wait until we hear. I know she's in court for ICU, for treating ICU, July unrest, and then they said she incited the violence. And then they charge her for something she said after. So the violence takes place, and then they burn a truck or they steal chickens from a truck or a mall or something. Chicken, but by the time she said, I see you, the chicken was stolen. So I'm still to understand what really is going on there. You are unnecessarily going to make that my issue, but well, she's before courts and she's going to answer to that. We support, I said, the motion of no confidence, you know. So there is a motion on the table, irrespective of who put that motion. If the motion makes sense to the EFF, we'll support it. We supported a motion in Parliament of motion of no confidence with, but the motion at the time made sense, and we supported it. The motion in Gauteng didn't make sense. Panyaza is, but you're not going to use your issues with the ANC in Gauteng to destabilize government for political expediency. We're not going to allow that. And therefore, we refuse to align ourselves with that. We agree with you. We're not petty like that. We're not kids. We're not girlish. We're not girls in high school. It doesn't matter how you agree or disagree with them. As long as you don't you take them into a political arena where a logic must reign supreme. So in this case, the Secretary General has been assigned to go to KZN to make sure that motion succeed. And we call on MKP to call Jacob Zuma to come to those negotiations, because the problem with MKP is that you talk to them, you agree. So if they are serious about that motion, Zuma must be part of the negotiations. Right from tonight, is it tomorrow, tonight, if he's prepared to talk to us formally. But if he's not talking to us formally, nothing to their conscience, and do what is in the best interest of the people of KZN. What is his name? Same name? Tlakaza of Ikuruleni. The guy is inherently stupid. He's a fool. He doesn't even deserve to be a chairperson of a burial society, because December we are likely not to get our growth. Driven by its ego, testosterone should provide that mayor. We can't dictate to the ANC who they must put, because they've got the majority. And that is in KZN. The people of KZN gave you a signal. Whether there is capacity in MKP or not, I'm really not interested. Maybe the people of KZN love them foolish like that. But who am I to determine what the people of KZN want? They've spoken what they want. More than anything, that is what inspires us as the EFF. And if the MKP gets in government and become corrupt and mismanage government of KZN, we are there to hold them accountable, to fight with them like we're doing with the president of South Africa. We're doing with the premier of Gauteng and everywhere else. In Gauteng, the people still gave the ANC more numbers. 47%. It's not 36. It is democracy when 36 is ruling Gauteng. We allow that. But we refuse to allow democracy to rule KZN at 47%. That doesn't make us an MKP friends. We are not friends. Our relationship is still what it was yesterday. But we cannot go against the will of the people. At least respect the will of the people. It doesn't matter how much you disagree with those people. Family of Abatembu,